Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about accounting standard number 2, that is valuation of inventories, and accounting standard 9, that is revenue recognition. Dear students, as you know that there are total 32 accounting standards and there is a 3 accounting standard that we are going to study about these, that is AS1 that deals with disclosure of accounting policies, AS2 that is deals with valuation of inventories, and AS9 revenue recognition. So today we are going to learn about AS2, that is valuation of inventories. So dear friends, according to accounting standard number 2, that is AS2, it is said that AS2 deals with valuation of inventories and it is issued by Institute of Chartered Accountant of India and is applicable from 1st April 1999. So now we are going to learn about the definition of inventory. So we must know to understand the definition of inventory before studying valuation of inventories. So what is inventory? So inventory means any assets held by the company for sale in the ordinary course of business. Also, inventory means any assets held in the process of production for such sales of the company. And inventory means any assets in the form of material or supplies to be consumed in the production process or the rendering of the services. So in short, whatever assets held by the company for sale in the ordinary course of business is called as a inventory. And now the question is arise, which items are covered under the term of inventory? So we must know the specific items of inventory that are included in the term of inventory as per AS2. So the inventory covers goods purchased and held for resale, or in the case of trading companies, the trading company can purchase goods from other companies and may sell it to the third party person, reseller or wholesalers. In that case, whatever goods purchased by the trading companies and if it is held in stock for resale purpose, so these goods also covers under the term inventory. The inventory also covers finished goods produced or work in progress with the company during the entire period of that business. The inventory also covers raw materials, maintenance supplies, consumables and loose tools awaiting use in the production. It means whatever material is there and that is kept by the company aside for the purpose of making finished goods, in that case such material and maintenance supplies also covers under the term inventory. Another question may arise about inventory valuation, that is which items of inventories are excluded from the scope of accounting standard 2. So dear friends, AS2 is not applicable to spare parts, servicing equipments and standby equipments which meet the definition of property. Means whatever spare parts, servicing equipments and other standby equipments which are the part of our property because we are using it, and it is if it is not held in stock for sale purpose, such materials also outside the scope of AS2. Secondly, any work in progress arising during construction also not covers under the scope of AS2. And another one, the work in progress in case of service provider is not also covered under the scope of AS2 because that is incomplete and we may call incomplete consignment. So in the case of incomplete consignment of service provider, whatever work in progresses are there are also outside the scope of AS2, and AS2 also not applicable to any investment held by the company as a stock in trade. For example, shares, debentures held by finance company, because such investment is held by the company for stock in trade, means for sales purpose. In that case, such investment also outside the scope of AS2. And last one is, that is producers inventories of livestock, agricultural or forest produce, mineral oils, gases, which are valued at a net realizable value, also not covers within the scope of AS2, because whatever livestock is there with farmers, whatever agricultural produce are there, all these are valued at a net realizable value, and that's why, because in that case the agricultural produce or forest produce not valued at a cost price, they cannot consider cost price, so always it is valued at a net realizable value, and that's why it is outside the scope of accounting standard 2. Another prime question may arise in front of all of us, that is, what is valuation of stock, or what is or how stock is valued. So dear friends, the valuation of stock is the process of finding out the proper value at which the closing stock is brought in the books of accounts and shown in the final accounts. Means valuation of stock is the process of determination of proper value at the time of accounting year, because it has been shown in the final accounts. Okay. Another question about inventory valuation may arise, that is why proper valuation of stock is important. So dear friends, the valuation of inventory or stock is important because neither stock neither overvalued nor undervalued, so it must be properly valued. And in the case of overvaluation of stock, it leads higher profit and larger current assets, and if it is valued at an undervalued price, so in the case of undervaluation of stock, it results in lower profit and smaller current assets. So it makes some variations. Okay, so it is always said that valuation of inventories must be proper, and neither there should be a proper valuation, and stock is always valued at a optimum level. Okay. Another question is arise about inventory valuation, that is, what is the basic rule regarding valuation of stocks. So there is a one rule which we are going to consider for valuation of inventories, and it is must for all of us to consider this rule while valuing inventories. So AS2 lays down the rules, and the rule is the stock is always valued lower of cost and net realizable value. It means stock is valued at cost price or market price, whichever is lower, and the proper comparison must be made at the year end and not at a daily recording of stock. So daily recording of stock is always going on, but there should be a proper comparison, proper evaluation of stock at the time of year end, because it must be shown in the final accounts. Okay. Next question about inventory valuation is, why stock not valued at a net realizable value if it is more than the cost? So normally stock is always valued at a cost or market price, whichever is lower, but if net realizable value is more than the cost, then why it is not valued at a net realizable value? So dear friends, if net realizable value is more than the cost and still it is valued at a net realizable value, then our account will show excess profit. It is called as expected profit and it is not actual, and it is against the basic accounting principles. That's why stock is not valued at a net realizable value if it is more than the cost price. And same again, another question may arise, why stocks are valued at a net realizable value if it is less than the cost? So dear friends, stock is valued at a net realizable value because it is less than the cost, but if net realizable value is lower than the cost, the goods are likely to be sold at a loss, and in that case company enables to make some provisions for a loss on sale of goods in near future. For example, the goods having a selling price of rupees 100, that is if net realizable value is rupees 100 and its cost price is rupees 150, so in that case stock is valued at rupees 100 because net realizable value 100 is less than cost price, that is 150. So it is valued at a net realizable value, and in that case the goods are likely to be sold at a loss of rupees 50. So in that case, if stock is valued at a net realizable value and if it is less than the cost, then company enables to make some provisions against such loss of goods on loss of sale on goods in near future. Got it? Another question may arise in front of us, that is about what are the steps involved in inventory valuation. So in that case there are three methods of or three steps of inventory valuation. So first of all, there should be a proper measurement of cost. Normally in companies daily measurement of cost is always going on, but the proper cost of inventory should be measured. Second method, that is measurement of net realizable value. So the company should maintain the proper record and company should measure a actual or accurate net realizable value of that particular inventory. And once measurement of cost and measurement of market price has been done, there should be a proper comparison between cost and market price, that is net realizable value. And once comparison has been made, then we have to value the stock at a proper price, means lower of cost and net realizable value. And there are three methods which are used for inventory valuation. So these methods are, first method, that is FIFO method, which stands for first in first out. Second method is about LIFO method, which stands for last in first out. And third method, that is weighted average method. So dear friends, these are the three methods of inventory valuation. Company can use any one method based on company's policies for the purpose of proper valuation of inventory. Okay. And now the another accounting standard, that is AS9, revenue recognition. Now we are going to learn about revenue recognition. So dear students, according to the accounting standards or accounting provisions, the revenue should be properly recognized. And in the case of AS9, it deals with recognition of revenue, that is booking of income in the profit and loss account. And revenue means booking of income, means income may be either any types of income derived by the company by way of sale of goods, income by way of fees from services, interest and dividend, etc. So whatever income is there like this are called as a revenue, and it must be recognized, and there are many provisions to recognize the revenues according to AS 9. So AS 9 made compulsory with effect from 1st April 1991 by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So the question is arise, what are the revenues which are out of scope of AS 9? So dear friends, the revenue from construction contract is not covers under the scope of AS 9. Means whatever revenue generated from construction contract is not included within the scope of AS 9. Okay. Second one, whatever revenue or income generated from hire purchase or lease agreement is also outside the scope of AS 9. And any government grants and subsidies received by the company from government is also outside the scope of AS 9. And any types of income derived by the company from insurance contract also not covered under the scope of AS 9. Okay. So the question is arise, what is revenue or what is the meaning of revenue? So revenue means any amount earned by the company from the customer for goods sold, means whatever goods sold by the company and whatever amount derived from such goods sold. Any amount earned from services given, any amount earned from use of fund or use of asset, any amount of interest received on loan, even any amount of dividend received on shares, any types of royalties received by the company depending upon the royalty agreement are also called as a revenue, and that must be recognized. Okay. So there are main features, or we may call requirements of AS 9. So what are the requirements of AS 9? So in the case of sale of asset, so whatever revenue arises from sale of asset, the revenue should be recognized when the seller sell the goods and has transferred these goods to the buyer. So in that case, revenues is to be recognized. Okay. And in the case of rendering of services, the revenue should be recognized on the basis of the performance of the services, either on the basis of proportionate completion method or on the basis of completed service contract method. So based on these two methods, the whatever revenues arises from rendering of services is recognized. And in the case of other incomes like revenue generated from interest, it should be recognized on time proportion basis, taking into account the principal outstanding. Means whenever we consider interest on loan, so it is always calculated at a prescribed rate available at a time and on outstanding principal amount. So it is means the interest income or interest revenue from interest is recognized depending upon the time and outstanding principal amount. And in the case of revenue from royalties, so whatever revenue generated by the company should be recognized on accrual basis in accordance with the terms of relevant agreement. So based on the royalty agreement, the revenue should be properly recognized. And last one is whatever revenues derived by way of dividend should be recognized when the right to receive the dividend payments is established. So once right to receive the dividend has been established, only then it is recognized in the books of account. And last requirement about AS9, that is in case of no significant uncertainty, means revenue should be recognized only when no significant uncertainty exists regarding the amount of the consideration that will be derived and about its ultimate collectability. So if company found if there is no significant uncertainty during some transactions, in that case only company can recognize the revenue in the books of account. So dear friends, these are the common provisions